You can tell I'm actually doing this one on video for now. I just wanted to discuss something today, and I thought it was appropriate to talk about this because as I've been thinking about it, I think this is something that a lot of people don't know. Um, and it kind of opens the curtain a little bit to, um, however, it opens the curtain to the reality of how a channel itself runs, but mostly how I run, and also how I run compared to a lot of other channels. Um, and I'm not just talking about RB channels. I'm not about channels in general, but how do I run? What does legacy involve? Um, and I'm just gonna kind of go through it. I'm gonna help you guys kind of see what I do. Um, and hopefully, when you see this video, you have a better understanding why some of my videos are not always great quality wise. Why there's lots of mistakes in my videos. There's lots of ums and ahs, and there's not a lot of video editing going on and things like that. And hopefully at the end of this video, you have a little bit more, I'm not going to say respect, because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more understanding, more empathy towards how this channel itself runs. Um, and that way, also in the future, you'll be able to understand a little better how I come to the conclusions I come to when I decide what videos I'm going to shoot and all that kind of stuff. Um, So let me start this video off with the first thing, guys. I'm going to list a handful of things. I'm going to list them in kind of numerical order that don't really matter, but they're important. The first and biggest thing you have to know about Legacy is this is a one-man operation. I think most of you kind of know that from watching the videos, but what I mean by that is um, not only am I the only person shooting the video, I'm the only person doing anything on the channel. So any attempts to video edit, any attempts to like trying to find music to play, finding the pictures that I use, all the research, all of that is done by me. There is nobody else the in the Legacy brand. Um, that is that's a big thing. Um, a lot of other YouTube channels, not necessarily RPG channels. I don't. I'm not going to speak to exactly how many of them do this, but a lot of channels have people that help edit. They have people that help do research. They have people that help them decide what subject matter to cover. Um, all of that is done by not by committee, but by groups of people. Sometimes on places like Discord, sometimes places they have private forums, whatever. They are doing things with other people. I literally don't have that. I do not have anybody behind me. So when things are being done on Legacy, they are being done by me. That's why sometimes production is slow. That's why sometimes I miss deadlines that I want to hit. That's why some of my videos seem very um, they're very amateurish. That is the term I'm going to use. They're amateurish. It's because I don't have anybody else. I don't have somebody that I can hand off a video to and make it more polished. I don't have somebody who can watch my videos before I publish them um, to make sure they look good. I have to send them out into the ether the way they are uh, because I am one person. I run everything myself. Um, that also means that sometimes I hit roadblocks and I don't know what to talk about. And by all means, if you guys have a subject you want to talk about, go to the community tab, leave it behind. I'm approachable on Discord. I'm approachable on Facebook. I'm approachable on Twitter. In short, I'm a pretty approachable guy. As long as you're not a prick, I'm a really approachable person. But I don't always have the resources available to do everything I need to do as well. Because I'm one person and I don't have anyone else. Also, I don't always have access to all the tools I need, all the equipment I need. As you guys can see, I'm using a fairly cheap headset to record off of. Not going to complain about it. It works. That's what it's supposed to do. But would I like to have a really nice, XLR setup? Absolutely. Would love to have something, very good. But I can't afford that. Which leads me to the next point, guys. That I want you guys to know, in case anyone's ever curious. I have never made a penny off of anything I've done with Legacy, and I've been doing this since 2015, and I have made $0 off of it. Uh, that means everything you guys see me do, whether it's using Restream, whether it's, you know, if I have to pay for a piece of software, I got to pay for a book, any of that stuff, guys. That's all done out of pocket. That is not done with any help at all as well. So if you see me talking about something like a game, for example, uh, nobody bought that game for me. I don't get review copies. I'm not big enough channel to get the attention of companies, so I don't get like review copies. I don't get, you know, the ability to have huge amounts of money just flowing in to cover the cost of buying software. So I have to find a lot of free software to do a lot of my editing. A lot of my video content is done through free software like GIMP, OBS, you know, and then the non-free stuff that I do. If you guys ever see some of the things I have done in the past, you know, if I edit a PDF to make a form fillable character sheet, I'm paying for Foxit, I'm paying for Restream out of pocket. I do all of it myself without any financial support. So I want people to understand that that is a big thing, because a lot of these bigger YouTube channels run Patreons, they have subscriptions on their YouTube, they make money. And they don't always make a lot of money, but they make money, and they're able to support their channel through donations from other people. And so they can always have on hand the latest book they need or the latest piece of information they need or whatever. And that's before you get into the idea that some of these channels are big enough to where companies have noticed them, will send them review copies, or they have connections inside the industry. Which, by the way, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Guys, you really don't understand how much work goes into a channel. I think sometimes I think that's because a lot of people don't run channels or don't try to run regular channels. If you run a regular channel, please don't take that the wrong way, because I know you guys do. But if you're just a YouTube viewer, I'm going to tell you something, guys. There's a lot that goes into the back end, a lot, um, financially, uh, time commitments, things like that. And if you're doing everything yourself and then you're paying for everything, it's even harder. So Legacy itself is a one-man operation that funds itself. And I I did set up a Patreon. I will actually start pumping that Patreon coming up in the next few videos. Guys, it is dirt cheap. I said it like $2 a month. Honestly, I'm not looking for a million people on it. I would be happy if I could get enough followers on Patreon to pay for my restream every month, which is I think $19. That would literally make me happy. Um, it would take a little bit off my plate. But that being said, guys, there's a lot, and I mean a lot, that goes on that I have to take care of myself because I don't get any help financially, and that's not a bad thing. Because the other thing, but the good thing about that is, while it is hard. It's also good because it frees me from feeling like I have to cover certain items or certain game types or whatever, because um, I'm not getting review copies. I'm not getting people trying to buy me products or whatever and give me product, and that can actually be a little bit of a curse. So somewhat that is freeing in some capacities. The third thing I kind of want you to understand about Legacy, outside the fact that we're a solo operation that funds itself, guys, um, is we fund ourselves, everything else, because we don't have a huge base. Um, I only have about 593 subscribers on the entire channel. I'm going to say I probably get 12 to 15 views from subscribers every video, and I probably get another 10 to 15 from the algorithm. Again, no complaints. At least I'm getting views, because I want you to understand something. What that means for me as a producer, as a contributor, um, to the YouTube, space, guys. I have to make 6 to 10 videos a month to get even rudimentary amounts of views. on my videos. Um, I average about 100 to 150 views a month across all videos. Um, and that's because I make between about 4 and 8 a month, generally 4 to 8 a month. I try to do about 2 to 3 a week. Um, and I tend to average about 4 to 8, depending on the month, depending on what's going on around me, yada, 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 what I can get to and all that. But guys, know that that's a big thing. I don't have a huge base. I just don't. Um, and I would love to have a bigger base. I would love to be one of those guys that could say I reach thousands of people at a time. I just don't. Um, I don't lament it because I have long since, and I think I've said this in other videos before that are still active on the channel. I would, I'm sorry, I told you every time I do a video, I cough. Oh, man, I would rather have 5 or 10 people regularly watching my videos that care what I say than 10,000 people sub to me that never watch. Um, that's just how I am. I I feel good if I can take one person, I can get them looking at a new game, taking a piece of advice under advisement, whatever. I feel like I've accomplished what I set out to do. Um, but know that it's very hard as a creator. This is behind the curtain stuff. As a creator, to look at my analytics, sometimes it's very hard. It is very difficult. It is very difficult sometimes to do that, and to see a video that's been up for 2 weeks and has 35 views. Because as I said a second ago, I do put a lot of work into a lot of my videos. I put a lot of thought into how I'm going to approach things. I try not to talk about a lot of things that can make me mad or make my viewers angry. Because my goal is not to make you angry. I'm not trying to feed off your emotions. That's what clickbait channels are for. I'm not a clickbait channel. Um, and and that goes into another point, guys. I could make those videos. I could draw hundreds of views by talking about how much I hate WotC or whatever, and I could be a channel that does that. I choose not to, which is the fourth thing, guys. Um, I choose to do a very niche of a niche. Um, most gamers do not care about esoteric and out of print games. They do not care about small press. They don't read them. They don't play them. They just don't care. They're playing the big boys. Nothing, again, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with people who choose to play what they want to play. But no, I'm talking about games that I'm authentically passionate about, um, but don't get love. And I really want them to get more love. And that is a niche of a niche. Um, you know, the GM advice I give is very uh, I'm not going to use the term heavy-handed, even though I can kind of get a little heavy-handed how I talk about it. It's designed to be generic enough to be applicable to people from all different walks of from being a hardcore enthusiast to being a very casual player or GM, casual player GM. You can do anything with the advice I give. And then when I talk about games, guys, I talk about things that nobody has talked about before or isn't talking about, or are not isn't that that's improper English, are not talking about. Um, I want to talk about these small press games because these small press games impress me. Let me give you two quick reasons why they impress me. One, small press games impress me because production qualities on them normally are a lot better than they get credit for, especially considering some of the financial constraints some of these companies have. Very few small press companies have the money to produce great layout, great art, everything else, which is what I would call that is small press issues, um, which is the layout might not be great, layout might be kind of hard or whatever to follow. The art may not be great. It's still decent, but it's not great. But they produce good work because the second thing I will say is they focus on their games, not trying to create a lifestyle brand. Um, which again, this is going to kind of track in something I don't like to talk about, but we all know that's kind of what the big companies have started trying to do is create a lifestyle brand around role playing. They're not trying to create an RPG anymore. and that's a shame. That's a huge shame. So those are two reasons I absolutely adore esoteric and small press games. The reason I stay with a lot of OOP games, because a lot of the OOP games that I care about deeply did not go out of print because they were bad games. A lot of them went out of print due to mismanagement of the companies, um, or alternatively, uh, not mismanagement of the company. They came out at the wrong time. There was a timing issue with them, and the game was a weird genre or whatever. And at the time, it wasn't appreciated, but that genre is now kind of big. Um, I'll give you an example. Anime games that came out in the 90s um, struggled to gain traction. Anime JRPG type games that came out in the 90s struggled to gain traction because anime and JRPGs were not as big in the 90s. If they were to release those same games today as like a first edition, they would probably see a lot more traction. Um, I don't immediately assume out of print means bad. Um, and that's why I try to give you a little history of a game when I do these OOP, especially these OOP uh, reviews. I talk about the history of the game, where does it come from, who created it, that kind of stuff. Um, but like I said, guys, so that being said, I am in the niche of a niche. RPGs are still a niche. Yes, I know that people are trying to mainstream geekdom. I still do not believe RPGs as a whole are are mainstream. I don't think they're ever going to become completely mainstream. I think the idea is that they're trying to turn things like D&D into mainstream hobbies, and I just don't think that that exists. In fact, I'm going to say something a little controversial there. I don't know that there's a such thing as a mainstream hobby. Um, just how it is. I think all hobbies kind of have their own niche. Everything from things that would be more what you would I would consider more common hobby, um, say woodworking, are still niche hobbies because only a select subset of the world does them. Um, Anybody can do them, but only a subset does. So that being said, guys, that's the that point. And then the last thing I'm going to say, kind of behind the curtain stuff for me is, guys, I'm going to wade into social political for just a second with this point. It is not meant to drive anyone away or draw anyone in. It is actually the complete opposite of that, guys. I'm tired of the culture war, um, writ large. Um, I enjoy uh, RPGs that are written by people from every walk of life, from conservative libertarian type people to left wing guys to apolitical people, from gay writers to straight writers. Unfortunately, I can't say that I've ever really, as far as I know, engaged a lot from like trans writers, but I don't. That may just be ignorance on my part that I don't know if they are or not. Because I really have stopped engaging that part of the hobby. Um, but I've engaged uh, RPGs written by agnostics, atheists, Christians, Buddhists, Muslims. Uh, you know, I've engaged RPGs written by Italians, Frenchmen, Swedish people. Uh, I'm starting to engage RPGs written by Japanese. In that, I am currently reading through the Goblin Slayer RPG. I have I just pre-ordered because I saw it last night. I just pre-ordered the Octopath Traveler book that will be coming out in October, which is a Japanese translation. I'm looking forward to Sword World, which is a Japanese translation. Um, so I engage everything that I can, and to me, the culture war is annoying. It's an annoyance. So keep that in mind. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of fighting over who's right and who's wrong all the time, especially in something that is meant to bring enjoyment and peace to people. Um, and games should bring that to you. All of that being said, guys, I want you also to understand I do encourage you to do a couple of things. Set your own uh, toleration for what you accept out of creatives as far as behaviorally. set how much you're willing to put up with for as far as what they'll say or do. Um, and the other thing is, guys, don't support art from people who outright hate you and are not shy about that. If somebody says they don't like you, they probably don't like you. And I'm going to say it this way. Maya Angelou said it best when she said, "When a person tells you who they are, believe them." I, that's all I have to say about that, guys. Just but I'm not going to engage in that. I'm not going to make videos about the latest dumb thing said by somebody at X company, whatever. I don't care. I have my own list of companies I prefer not to do business with. Um, it's private. I'm not going to speak it on this channel. It's private. I don't do business with certain companies because of their behavior and certain individuals because of their behavior. But that being said, I'm not going to tell you who to do business with. That's not my goal in life. My goal, as I said a second ago, is to introduce you to new games, introduce you to esoteric and out of print stuff, introduce you to GMing advice, even some of it written by people that I probably would not agree with on a lot of issues. Um, I mean, that's just all there is to it. You know, um, let's just be honest with who we are as a channel. Um, anyways, guys, those 5 things right there. That's kind of lifting the curtain here on Legacy. That's what we do. I am a one-man operation that's self-funded, that is working with a area of a hobby that is very niche, um, and I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. I enjoy doing these videos. I enjoy bringing new things to you. I enjoy bringing GM advice to you. I love doing my videos on novels that I do, the occasional videos I do on like novels or book series um, and authors and stuff. If you guys are not aware of this, let me go ahead and tell you this now. I'm a huge cinephile. I'm a huge bibliophile. I love cinema and I love books. As you guys can see behind me, I've got a fat crap ton of books. I read constantly. um, all that being said, guys, I am what I am. I have never tried to hide that football from you when I do my videos. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I thought it was important to kind of lift that curtain just a bit so you guys can understand a little more when you're watching my videos, if you're watching legacy videos, so you understand a little bit more about what goes into it from my end, what I do as a channel, how, why I kind of think the way I do, why I choose the type of topics I choose, things like that. It's not, by no means is this video meant to be a pity party because it's not. Um, I am perfectly happy with the way Legacy is running right now. You guys have been awesome. My videos get mostly positive responses. Uh, Occasionally get some negative stuff, but mostly I would say 98% positive response from you guys. And I'm going to keep doing them as long as I'm getting positive response. I feel comfortable doing the subject matter I'm dealing with, and I'm having fun doing it. And that's how this channel is going to run. But just know that if you see a video that looks like it's very amateurish, it is. I'm just going to be honest with you, it is. I'm an amateur. I don't know a lot about video editing. So as I'm trying to learn to edit some of the videos I've had to edit, I'm learning how to do that on the fly. We lost an entire session of Deadlands because we had an audio issue where for some reason it did not record one half of the audio, and we have a lost episode of that game, which makes me sad because it's the very first episode. Um, you know, I'm I'm looking at different things to kind of try to fix that. Which is why we're moving our games to Restream. If you're ever curious, I am going to start shooting all my live plays on Restream because Restream should theoretically, I can't guarantee, but should theoretically allow us to keep the live stream and should capture all the audio. It'll do all the legwork for me, so I won't have that kind of problem in the future. Um, but even then, there's technical issues with that. If you guys watched the last Deathlands game, we had a player that had some connection issues with the server. He was having a hard time staying connected. Not his fault. Absolutely not mad at him. Uh, so that being said, guys, um, hang on a second, guys. I'm getting screamed at by a roommate. He's about to come in here. 5 seconds. Speak. Background. Give me just a second. Okay. Sorry, guys. But long story short, guys, if if you want to help me grow, best thing I can tell you guys, spread the videos around. If you think they're good, um, share them, share the live plays, uh, all that stuff. Other than that, guys, as always, we hope to hear from you. Leave comments, thoughts, questions, concerns below. I'm always happy to hear them from you guys. I'm always happy to address anything you guys have concerns about as well. Um, but always follow the 3 rules: no ad hominems, no picking fights, and don't leave college dissertations. Other than that, guys, we hope you have fun, and we do hope to see you guys around the game table.